Happy New Year, YouTubers. Baldrhino is here. I know you've been looking forward to this video. This is my mistakes and recommendations that I've learned over 175 years in the hobby. I know I look pretty good for that age, but I don't feel good. So let's get this kicked off here. There's some fun ones in here and some obvious ones, so bear with me. The video is free. You are not smarter than the local card shop owner. That's number one. I remember thinking, gosh, I'm going to roll into this local card shop and wheel and deal and get myself a card graded at 10 and just keep minting it. That's not how it works. Good story is, I used to love the 71 tops, and I'd go to a card shop here in town and it was always colored, always doctored or something. I remember a Kirby Puckett, for example, just 85 Kirby Puckett was just doctored to the max. And so that doesn't mean that you're not smarter than them or vice versa, but they've been at this a while. And for decades, the industry was one of catching the dummy. And it's still a lot like that. You have to love what you do, but in the end, there's a reason when you go to a card show, they're offering you 65% of the value. It's just a scam. It's what's true comps, et cetera, et cetera. You really have to be smart, patient, and know what you're doing, and it takes a long time to do that. And I still make extraordinary mistakes, but it sure is fun. Focus, number two, focus your collection. I go through these periods where I love every card except WNBA, but I do love just about every card. You've seen some of the wrestling stuff. I go to the card shows with my son, and I'm like, gosh, that wrestling card's cool. I don't know anything about wrestling, so I shouldn't be buying that card. And that's probably the most important thing, is to focus your collection. If you want to do it for investment purposes, I would definitely stick to vintage and established players. Otherwise, it's just gambling. But also, focusing your collection makes you feel good and takes the investment part of it out of it. So, for example, you all know I own more Nolan Arenado cards than I probably should, but I love all of them. And I don't even think about what I've lost on those cards because he decided that he can't play anymore. I still love the process of collecting him and all the cards. And, I own some one-of-ones, and, it just doesn't matter. So if you really love the player, focus your collection. Number three, don't keep expensive cards at your house, okay? Sooner or later, people find out what you have, and it creates anxiety. It creates concern, particularly if you don't have them in a safe or something like that. It's just silly. Insurance is a ridiculous process to try to get reimbursed. So I know the tendency is you want to hold them, look at them, and so forth, but you're taking tremendous risk. Nowadays, in most big cities, if you live in one, they don't even come to your house if you've been robbed. They don't care. The police are not going to catch this person. And your cards are gone. They're gone. And a lot of the cards that you love, particularly if you have some as a kid that are valuable, you can't replace those cards. So put them at a safe deposit box. Make a special day on your calendar to go to the bank and look at them. They never bother you. You can go in there for hours if you want to and look at them. That's what I do, and it just, you sleep better at night. It saves some money too. It's because it's not very expensive. This fourth one is grade, grade, grade. Now, I know this is a bit controversial, but I have never regretted grading a card that I thought should do well of an established player. Price, we now have a true monopoly in the grading business. So that is fantastic. So only prices can go up. Go to your basic economics textbook. And so prices are going to go up, and they're not making more excellent vintage cards or established players. And a lot of these, look at the Bo Jackson stuff. Okay, look at that. That's not a Hall of Famer. Some of his cards wouldn't characterize as vintage, but he's an established player. I graded everything that I could get my hands on that was Bo Jackson. And it's done incredibly well. I think pricing has definitely gone up, but prices are going to continue to go up. I've already seen ridiculous prices for some slabs that I never thought would sell, and I've sold them. So keep that in mind. I just feel like you should only grade with PSA. That's obvious. Again, it's free video. But the point here is that all you have to do is win big on 2 or 3 cards. I just submitted some 1984 Topps football, and I had a Eric Dickerson come back at 9, and I had an Elway come back at 9. You're done. It paid for the order, and even if you missed on a couple cards, which I did, it still works out to be a win. So that's maybe a little controversial. Again, let me say it out loud. Never submit to SGC or Beckett. I find it interesting that the congressman did what he did, but we all feel really good about the fact that they can't get anything done in Congress. It's like Civil War days. So you don't have to worry about anything being done to take down PSA. I think PSA is in a perfect driver's seat. I wish I had owned the collector's stock, because they're going to dominate. Number 6 here, or 5, or whatever number I'm on, don't chase. I think that I can, when I put my head back and go to bed at night and close my eyes, start to cry, I think of all the times I chased. Like the living set, I chased. The artistic thing, I chased, where you could get Trout or drawn by these artists and something. I can't remember, 2020 or something cards. Don't do it. Do not do it. It's just wasted money. I have boxes at the house where you just, you couldn't sell these things for $5, and it's embarrassing. I give them as gifts. I give them to charity. I mean, it's just, so I guess they're not worthless, but if you're in this game, you don't do it. It's just buy yourself a card you like an Arenado card, rookie card. I mean, those are way down, and he's a hell of a player. Sell high, not low. Okay? And I don't know how to do that. I really don't. Obviously, that's something you want to do. But I think in a lot of ways, it helps to have a price for a card that you will sell for, and then never look back. I have a buddy who's a bond trader, and he zigs when others zag, and he's constantly thinking differently, but he has a price that he thinks that he should sell things at, and it's very helpful. And then you never look back. That's the key. I had sold a Ohtani auto that's worth like 65 grand right now, and I sold it for maybe 10, and it just kills me. But he goes, "Why do you worry about that? You sold it. It's over." And I think that that's a helpful mentality to have if you can do it. I personally, I still think about that. But the point is that you have to zig when others zag. I think that if you can master not being emotional about the card, unless it's your PC item, you can really make some money in this hobby, particularly right now, because a lot of people are emotional. A lot of people are very new to the hobby. A lot of people are leveraged, and they are making decisions on cards that they're going to lose a lot of money, and they'll do just like they do with stocks. They'll things start to fall, and prices fall, and people just start panic selling. That can happen in this business too. It's just another asset, just like a stock. So be aware of that, but have a price in your mind that you want to sell things for. Again, buy established veterans. You have to have this mentality between, am I gambling or am I investing? And I think prospects and all that stuff, good for you. If you are an expert, and you might think you're investing, or you might think you're relying on your knowledge, but in the end, you are gambling. And that's why I think established players is a safer bet. All the people that leave the hobby frustrated in things are largely gambling. And it's hard because it's the dopamine rush that we all get from opening packs or things of that nature. It's just, be aware of what you're doing. It's nothing wrong with gambling as long as you know you're doing it. Um, don't open packs or boxes. Now, you've seen me do that all the time on my channel, but I acknowledge that it's gambling. You're going to lose money. Some of the biggest wins I've had in the hobby are unopened wax. It's a proven investment that you can make over time, but man, I've made some good money selling boxes and unopened packs and things of that nature. So something to think about. It's a good way of diversifying your collection as well. If you've got, because again, I think the liquidity of boxes, particularly if you've got vintage breaks and all these folks out there just breaking. I think that it's demand. How much is out there? And eventually I think that, there'll be priceless boxes. Look at that 86 Fleer, just think about that. That's something that validates keeping unopened wax. Then, this is a little controversial. The hobby really is a Ponzi scheme in a lot of ways. The last person left holding a card is the loser. And again, you have to have a love for the hobby and collect things that you love. So if you're doing this for investment purposes, or if you're just trying to buy the prospect card, particularly more in that case, you want to sell that thing. You really do. Sure, I lost on the Ohtani thing, but I think you're going to win more than you lose. So I get such a kick when I go to the card shows, and this one guy says I'm paying 65%, one guy says I'm paying 75%. Maybe I'm just too old, but to me, that means you better be really careful about what you're doing, because you're in a market that is inefficient, and the smarter person's going to win, and it's probably not you. And then lastly, buy what you love. I love Milk Duds cards. Nobody cares about those things. But I remember eating Milk Duds by the thousands. So when I see a Milk Duds card, I get emotional, I love it. And I think, oh, I'm going to buy that sucker. I love Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench was all that went into my brain when I was a little guy. So just invest in what you love and buy what you love, collect what you love. And I hope you all have a wonderful new year, and thanks for watching the channel. Take care.